Why mother tongue is not a medium of instruction in the education system of India. This is part 1. In the year 2017, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee announced that all school students in the state of West Bengal will have to study 3 languages, one of which must be Bangla. Currently, most of the so-called good schools in the state that are inevitably Anglophonic not only do not include Bangla as one of the languages, they take liberty to penalize students if they are reported to use their mother tongue inside the school premise. Use of 3-language principle is consistent with the decision of central government's language policy, which was never meant to be implemented. Mamata Banerjee's declaration is an attempt, half-hearted it may be, to keep Bangla language alive in Bengal. It is hopefully also a gesture, ostensible or not, of respect of one's mother tongue. Declaration of a regional government, though, will not by any means revitalize the status of the indigenous language. This gesture shows that sense of self-respect and glory in self-identity is alive in the current political leadership of Bengal. Let us hear the Chief Minister's version.
नेपाली एरिया में नेपाली जानना जरूरी है, बंगाली एरिया में थोड़ा-थोड़ा बंगाली जानना भी जरूरत है, तो इसी के लिए हर लैंग्वेज सीखो.
During the last 70 years, despite total domination of Anglophonic culture, Angrezi, and Anglophonic system, Angreziyat, only 8 to 10% of the population of a ridiculous minority are able to express their thoughts in English. Yet, without English, one can't earn a decent living, get access to higher education, follow court proceedings, submit official application, handle banking, deal with hospital services, read medical instructions, or even to get vocational training, one needs English. In other words, 95% of the population are simply denied access to all essential functions in economic life and government offices, which are exclusively administered and conducted in the interest of the dwindling minority. Needs of the rest 90 to 95% are not a consideration. They do not seem to even exist in the calculation of the Anglophonic ruling class. During the last 150 years, until 1947, about 100,000 white-skinned British were physically present in India and ruled 35 crore 350 million South Asians using English as the official state language. How are things different today for the population? In 75 years, less than 10% has absorbed English as a language. Question may be asked, of all the topics in the world, why bother about language? Because it is one of the most important elements of effective schooling that shapes the quality of human resource, which in turn determines the role of a nation in the world civilization. 300 years ago, contribution of about 30% of world GDP was made by India. Civilized world of that time came to Indian universities to study technology and fine arts. That was made possible because of the nature of its indigenous schooling. Medium of instruction in that kind of schooling could never have been a totally unrelated foreign language spoken by 10% of the total population. Language of schooling is to facilitate 2 things, among others: 1, absorption of a given subject matter, and 2, expression of information already absorbed. Hence, schooling for Aam Aadmi can only be effective only if the medium of instruction in the school is in the language of Aam Aadmi, aimed at facilitating absorption of any given subject matter. Education based on mother tongue is the single most important catalyst for innovation. It is tempting to ask why all immortal Indian educationists, without exception, always advised in favor of using mother tongue as a medium of instruction at all levels of education to ensure better absorption of any given subject matter. At the same time, They also emphasized it is essential to learn second and third language to communicate what is absorbed through mother tongue. It is precisely for this reason all developed countries in the world who has contributed most in the field of technological innovation, without any exception, use mother tongue as a medium of instruction and multiple other languages to communicate what is absorbed. 150 crore people of India and other third world countries whose Anglophonic education system is based on scavenging on the leftovers of Anglo-American West have failed to make any contribution in any field whatsoever. They are no more than cheap labor for the Anglo-American West, engaged in futile, slavish imitation under the pretext of prosperity and development. It is important to ask why thought process of great Indian personalities on significance of using mother tongue as a medium of instruction are never ever publicly discussed. Let us now take a look at what the immortal Bengali novelist Sharat Chandra Chattopadhyay once said about the significance of using mother tongue. Here is a photograph of that great personality. He says, "There is no thought process without language. Meaningful thoughts for an English person are not possible without their language. It is exactly the same for Bengali also. No matter how great an English scholar that Bengali may be, these are scientific facts beyond the scope of cheap discussion. Genuinely original and fundamental concepts can't emerge without mother tongue. Fact remains, since Bengali is a Bengali and not Shahi, he may wait eternally facing the enormous gateway of Bilaiti language, but will never find the clue to original thinking." Contemporary Bengali youth schooled in English medium probably have not even heard of Sharat Chandra Chattopadhyay, but has been forced fed with Michael Jackson and Harry Potter. This design of delinking people from their origin through education system and thus stripping them from creativity explains why nation of 150 crore Indians and South Asians have made no contribution in the contemporary technological advancement. Being stripped of their sense of self-respect and identity, for the last 75 years they are like weeds hanging from banyan tree and staring at their substratum. They are vacantly staring at the mammoth gateway of original Anglophonic culture and education, and will continue to stare and remain subservient to the 6 crore English. This presentation is a modest attempt to explain the fact that the existing Anglophonic education system, designed to scavenge on Anglo-American leftovers, guarantees death of creativity, which in turn prevents India from competing with Anglo-American West in the international market, unlike developed countries including China. This explains why there is fierce internal resistance from Anglophonic minority against using mother tongue as a medium of instruction in higher education, why there is strong support from Anglo-American circle to the internal resistance, why mother tongue is being subtly ridiculed, degraded, and made unacceptable to public through overt and covert marketing tricks. This also explains why dictum of all great Indian personalities in favor of using mother tongue as a medium of education are being concealed from public views. Subject of this type of presentation should in fact reach the 90% Indians who can't express their thoughts in English. But medium, internet, and its embedded English language are effective barriers that prevent such communication. Keeping the elite class safe and secure, it is our hope that those who find logic in this presentation will communicate its theme to those who need them most, the underclass. If you like what you see, please subscribe and ring the bell.